Welcome to 5-Minute Reviews, and today we are tackling the Nikon 50mm f1.2 Z lens. It also has like an S in it. Tell us about this thing, Hillary.
Hi, Chris. This is this is really the lens that Nikon promised when they first launched the Z mount, and they said, with this wider mount, we can get really wide apertures. And so this is the f1.2 50. It's quite a beast.
So you've used the Canon one, right?
Not yet, I don't believe.
Okay. Well, what makes this innovative from your point of view?
The most innovative thing about that is really the f1.2 aperture. But there's now competing lenses that have that f1.2 aperture.
Okay, yeah. So in that case, then it's basically like keeping pace with the rest of the market, right?
Yeah, yep. Canon's is a little bit lighter and smaller, and Sony's has 11 aperture blades.
Okay, cool. So talk to us about this thing ergonomically. Like, how is it different from any other Nikon lens?
It's similar to their other high-end lens in that it has the LCD panel right here that you can use to display the aperture or the focal distance. You got your a little shortcut button here, and you have your auto and manual focus switch, and you do have the two control rings, the focus, and then this one can be customized to whatever you want to put on there.
Do they click at all, or like, are they smooth?
They're smooth. Yep. There's no aperture declick or anything like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So, plus, in addition to that, the Nikon Z line, it's mostly new. They do have those top LCD screens, but like, how are they to use? How is a lens like this to use? Is it pretty simple to do? Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to use. The two rings here are so different that you can grab them without pulling the camera away from your face. So that's nice. Really, if you just take a couple of minutes to kind of get acquainted to, maybe what the function button does and the display, you're up and shooting in a couple of minutes. It's really simple.
Were there ever any times where like you're accidentally hitting the function button?
No, I don't think so.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's got a little raised ring around it, so you can tell the two different buttons apart. So
that's understandable. And then build quality. I mean, Nikon's lenses have usually been pretty well weather sealed. We've put them through hell, so to speak. But I mean, what did you find?
Yeah, it feels really nice in the hands. It's definitely weather sealed. I splashed it a little bit, and it kept going on. It was really unfazed. So.
And it feels good in your hand when you're like mounting it to a camera?
Yeah, yep. It feels quite similar to all their other weather sealed lenses. It feels really tough and sturdy. It is pretty heavy, but that's kind of to be expected with an f1.2 aperture. So.
Is it front heavy, or like when you put it on, is it like very balanced? You're using the Z6 II, right?
Correct. Yeah, it is a little bit front heavy just because it's such a heavy lens and then kind of a smaller camera. I didn't think it was too horribly unbalanced though, but it is a little bit front heavy.
And in terms of autofocus, I mean, Nikon I know has really improved their autofocus over the years, but like, how does a lens like this work with it? It's got to be pretty difficult to, nail focus at f1.2.
Yeah, the autofocus performed about what I expected for this lens with that camera body. It's good. It's not best in class. And I think a lot of that has to do more with the Z6 II than the lens itself. They do have the two autofocus motors in there, which is fairly new for Nikon. It focused about what I expected.
Okay, cool. So for like portraiture, it'll still be pretty reliable in good light or bad light, right?
Yeah, I did like backlit portraits, and it did fine, and it did okay with continuous, but not as good as the competition. So if you're doing like a portrait where the subject is walking or moving around, it'll have a little bit more trouble with that.
All right, cool. Well, thanks a lot. We really appreciate the time.